What's the story, Morning Glory? What is the word, hummingbird? Thank you so much for clicking on my channel and for joining me for this review of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 3, Episode 9. I don't want to spend too much time on the preliminaries because I cannot wait to get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. So it starts off with Jen Shah at her home in her bathroom, taking her antidepressants. She says that she's been on antidepressants ever since her father had passed away. And so this is how now I understand how she's able to deal with what she's dealing with, because she's on meds. Because I was so confused. Like, how is she dealing with a possible prison term? Now, we don't know if she's going to be going to prison or not, since she pled guilty. She might get off without doing any time at all. I have no idea. But I was always wondering, like, how in the world is Jen Shah getting up every day to film this ridiculous show, entertaining but still ridiculous show, cackling with these women, arguing about insignificant stuff, knowing that she could possibly be going to federal prison, and it's because she's, on meds. So moving on from there, Heather meets up with Angie Harrington and Dana, and they start talking about Jen. Dana says that Jen is very toxic. She's loud, she's disrespectful, she's obnoxious, and she just doesn't like it. And so that's why she called her out. When she was with whoever in whatever episode. She didn't call her out, but she was talking about her behind her back. And so Dana was like, I don't know how y'all put up with a person like Jen, but I can't do it. I have to say something when I see Jen, misbehaving. So moving on from there, Jen is at her home and Meredith comes over. They're right now, Coach Shaw and Jen are supposed to be doing Ramadan, where you're supposed to be fasting for 12 hours a day, I think, for religious purposes. But Jen says that Coach Shaw told her not to do the Ramadan, not to fast, because it was just going to make her sick. And, with all the stress that she's under, it just wasn't a good idea for her to not eat. So Meredith broaches the subject of bringing Dana to the trip, and Jen Shah tells Meredith, well, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that her saying whatever she said about me was a miscommunication, so I'm going to go ahead and let you, do your thing. Then they start talking about her legal issues. Then we see a flashback of Jen talking to her husband about all the legal fees that they're paying. They're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars whenever the lawyers call asking for more money. They're sending $200,000, $100,000, or whatever it was, multiple times, not just for one flat fee, constantly sending these attorneys money to fight her case. And after all is said and done, she ends up just pleading guilty. I'm thinking to myself, if I'm spending hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't know if it's close to $1 million now or over $1 million that they spend on these legal fees. If I'm spending that much money on my legal team, I'm expecting to come home. Not to do 1 minute of time behind bars, because that is ridiculous. You might as well just have gone with a public defender if you're going to end up doing any kind of jail time. This just doesn't make any sense. But I guess, all that money was to keep her from doing, 20 to 25 or 15 to 20 or 10 to 15 behind bars. Maybe if she does a year or whatever, it would have been worth the money. I have no idea. So she's complaining to Coach Shaw about all this money that they're spending on attorneys when they could be spending it on their kids, colleges and medical school, because one of her sons wants to go to medical school. And I'm thinking to myself, Jen, why are you complaining about that? You put yourself in this situation. You put yourself in this position. So it's your fault that this money is going to men who are already wealthy, men and women, I don't know, who are already wealthy, instead of going to your children. Moving on. So the trip to San Diego. They're at the airport. Dana and Jen are there, but they don't speak to each other at all. And Jen was, a little bit pissed at that. She was like, this is my trip, and she can't even say hi to me. Well, you're the host, Jen. It wouldn't have hurt you to say hi to her. But whatever. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all, y'all. It doesn't make any difference. If they spoke, if they didn't speak, who spoke first, none of it matters. So Angie K basically takes over the trip when everybody arrives. And when they arrive in San Diego, when they all arrive in San Diego, Angie K does the whole house tour. She does the whole room assignments. And I don't think they assigned rooms. I think they picked their own rooms. But Angie K picked her own room, and she picked the best room. She picked the master bedroom. So Jen was really upset about that. She was like, "You're taking the master bedroom?" And Angie K was like, "Yeah, maybe because I don't know. Did she pay for maybe okay, we'll find out later maybe why Angie K decided to take the master bedroom away from Jen. So Jen is upset about that. And so while they're like the women are all gathered together, and I think Jen was talking about the agenda for the day or the agenda for the trip or something, and Angie K ended up interrupting her. Jen got really upset to the point where she poured her drink on her damn friend. She like literally poured her whole entire glass of champagne or whatever she was drinking all over Angie K's head. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, is Jen Shaw drunk? Like, why would she do something like that? She was that upset about the room situation. So then to lighten the mood, Jen pours a drink on herself to kind of be like, oh, I'm not that mad, or it's not that serious. Look, I'm going to pour a drink over myself. Angie K don't give a damn about that. You still poured a drink over her head, and this is not what she signed up for. So Angie K was still pissed, even though Jen was trying to be all jokey with it. Angie K was not having it. So Jen doesn't understand why she's so upset about it. You poured a drink over this woman's head for no reason, and then you're going to play it off like it was just one big funny joke, but nobody's laughing. So the women go their separate ways. I don't know who went with who where, but at some point, I think Angie K was talking to Lisa, and Lisa always has to make things about herself. So even though this was a feud or a disagreement between Jen and Angie, Lisa says, I'm just so mad at myself. For what? You weren't even involved in any of this. So she says she was mad at herself because she didn't come to Angie K's defense sooner. Like she felt like she should have, but no one knew that anyways. So Lisa says in her confessional that she's been conditioned to not call out Jen on her bad behavior. What does that mean, you've been conditioned? Why are people so scared of Jen? What is it about Jen Shaw that has people so shook? If you see that what she did was wrong, but nobody spoke up. Nobody said anything. They start saying things, when Jen is not around. That's when they'll start saying stuff. But like in her face, they won't say anything. So Angie K then tells Lisa that she was the one that paid for Coach Shaw's birthday party, the whole Harlem Nights thing that was hosted at Angie K's house. She said not only did she just open up her home for the party, she and her husband paid for the whole party. And it came out to about, did she say $15,000? I think it came out to like 15 grand for this party. This one night party cost $15,000. And she says Jen has paid her back absolutely nothing. And she says, I'm going to send her an invoice because she poured the drink over her head. She goes, I'm going to be sending her an invoice. But was that y'all's agreement? Is that what y'all bargained for? You can't be doing something as a favor or a gift and then turn around and be like, oh, I changed my mind. Here's an invoice. I don't know if you could do that legally. Angie K, she goes, I spent all this money on this party, but luckily I was still able to buy my daughter a horse. What does Angie K's husband do? Or what does Angie K herself, what do they do? Are they doctors or something? Because damn, you spent $15,000 not for your birthday party, not for your kid's birthday party, not for your husband's birthday party, but for your friend's birthday party, the same friend who poured her drink over your head, and you still had enough coin left over to buy your daughter a horse. And they showed a picture of the little girl in front of the horse. That was a beautiful horse. That horse was a pretty penny. She's got it like that. So Meredith, she doesn't think that. So Meredith is with Jen Shaw at, I think it was at Heather's little casita. Heather opted to stay in the casita. So Meredith tells Jen Shaw, oh, I don't even think Angie was really that mad. And then they go back to Angie, and Angie's like, I'm pissed. So Heather is happy because it's not about her for once. Everybody forgot about Heather and what a horrible friend she's been to everybody. So Heather's happy about that. So Heather's having a conversation with Dana, and Dana wants Heather to confront Jen about what she did because it just irks Dana to death that Jen Shaw runs amok and nobody tries to stop her. And so she tries to convince Heather to say something about it. Heather tells her, you don't want to do that to Jen because everybody's so scared of Jen. You don't want to do that to Jen. We're not going to rock the boat with Jen. No, we're not going to do that. If you know what's good for you, you're just going to keep quiet. So Jen comes into the room and she tells Dana that she wants to have a one-on-one with her at some point on this trip. Angie K feels like Angie K feels like she oh so when Angie K in her confessional, when she talks about how she spent all this money on Coach Shaw's birthday, she goes, I feel like I'm one of Jen Shaw's victims because she conned me. She conned me into paying for her husband's birthday party. So now they are on their way to the yacht and they're on the Sprinter van. So it's really tense in there. It's very, everybody's kind of like on edge. And so Whitney says, obviously a conversation needs to be had. So Angie K didn't waste no damn time. So she brings up how she had paid for Coach's birthday party and Jen paid her back nothing. Jen denied it. She says that she did give her back something. So Jen says in her confessional that Angie K practically begged her to have the party at her new house. So the way Jen Shaw tells us is that she never wanted the party to be at Angie K's house. She wanted the party to be at another venue. But because Angie K had just bought this or just built this beautiful mansion practically, and she wanted to show it off, she wanted to have some type of a housewarming party, so why not kill two birds with one stone? Let's do the party here, and then everybody will also have a chance to see my new home. So Jen makes it look like Angie K begged her to do the party at her home. She had other plans. She had no intentions of doing the party at Angie K's house. So Angie K said that the only thing that Jen Shaw did to show her appreciation for hosting this party and paying for it was she gave her a used necklace. And then Angie K made a joke about, I don't want to wear that necklace on TV because I don't want the feds to see it and they're going to come snatch it right off of me because it was probably bought with ill-gotten gains. So Angie tells Jen Shaw on the Sprinter van, she goes, well, how about a thank you for me throwing that party for you? And so Angie starts telling her, okay, I really do appreciate it. Thank you. And then Angie K completely cuts her off. She's like, it's too late now. It's too late. If I have to tell you to tell me thank you, it's too late. Let's move on to the yacht. So now we're on the yacht. Jen tells Meredith that she would never ask Angie K to host another party at her house. No, I'm sorry. She tells Meredith that she did not ask Angie K to host a party at her house. She would never do that. That's not something that she would do is to ask someone, can I have my husband's party at your home? Now, to me, that has like the ring of truth to it because it does sound kind of like, do people really do that? Would a person really say, hey, can I host my party at your house? So it does have the ring of truth to it. Now, the whole thing about Angie paying for the party, I wonder how that came about. I wonder if that is something that Angie K offered because Jen couldn't afford it, or did Jen tell her, because of my case, my funds are tied up, so pay for this party and then I will reimburse you later. Like, how did that go? How does someone volunteer to pay for a $15,000 birthday party? That's what I want to know. How did that conversation go? So Jen says that, Angie K is attacking me at my most vulnerable time. Once again, Jen, you put yourself in this position. It's not like someone did this to you. You did this to yourself. Anyways, well, I don't know. The woman was trying to defend herself after you poured that damn drink on her head. You should have just controlled yourself, controlled your anger, and Angie K would never have blurted that out. That would have been a secret that she probably took to her took with her to her grave. But she wanted to act a fool, and so she acted a fool right back. So it seemed like Heather is more on Jen Shah's side in this whole matter, which is really crazy to me because, but then again, we don't really know the truth. Because I was like, you would have thought that Jen would have shown a whole lot more appreciation for what Angie did for Coach Shah's birthday than, a used necklace. So I don't see how Heather could have sided with Jen, especially after Jen threw that drink on her. That was just not good. Even Whitney told Jen, you really need to go and apologize to your friend for throwing that drink on her. And Jen was like, she didn't understand why she would have to apologize. She saw nothing wrong with what she did. She was like, we're just having fun. She should know me. We're best friends. We've known each other since college. She knows how I am. She knows how I joke around. But when you poured that drink on her head, Jen, you were not joking around. You were dead serious. You were mad. You were pissed at her. And that's why you did that. The look on your face, when Jen Shah gets mad, her angry look is scary. It is like blood curdling, like bone chilling scary when Jen Shah gets that look of anger on her face. And that's the look that she had when she poured that drink on that woman's head. Anyways, whatever. It's all whatever. Thanks so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. On your way out, please don't forget to rate the video. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe. It's okay. And I will definitely talk to you later. Bye.